Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm financial coach Jess, and in today's video I really want to pull back the curtain and give you a behind the scenes look at what I am researching and learning and growing in since becoming debt free. And if you missed that announcement, you can watch that video right here. We go into the whole story of paying off our house in October of 2021. So here are some very practical things that Ethan and I are working through, and I encourage you to do the same if you are debt free. Number one is dream bigger. Remember that debt free, not including the mortgage, is the starting line and not the finish line. In your mind, if being debt free is the big finish line that you are pursuing, although it is a great pursuit, you're still thinking too small. You are limiting yourself and your potential. What's really weird to me is when someone becomes debt free and then they're living just like they were before they became debt-free, because they're still living in fear. They're still afraid, and they never got past in their head that finish line of becoming debt-free. And there's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5 W-2, buying groceries, saving money, investing, retiring when you're 70. There's nothing wrong with any of that, but just make sure that it's your choice. Choose that life. Don't just do it and go through the motions because you thought that you had to. Some other options include starting a business or investing in other startup businesses, investing in commercial or residential real estate, retiring at 35 or 40, working on passion projects, partnering with organizations and causes that you believe in. Even a tiny example of this is my YouTube channel. For a year and a half, it was a grind of weekly videos and constantly sacrificing to the YouTube algorithm. YouTube burnout is very real, and I got burnt out. And truthfully, I love making videos, but I just kept thinking, I did not quit my job, start a business, grind every single day for 2+ years to pay off my house to just be a slave to the YouTube algorithm. And it feels so amazing to just really let that burden go and to make videos about what I want to make videos about, even if they flop. But I honestly think that these are going to be better because I'm more passionate and I'm talking about things that I want to make videos about, not just because I have to make another video. All in all, dream bigger. And if you aren't changing it, you are choosing it. Number two, redefining risk. And this has been a topic that Ethan and I have been talking about on and off for quite a while now. When you are working toward debt freedom, risk just looks different. It looks like trying to minimize expenses. It looks like maybe your income is too low, or you're at an entry-level job and you've got to get that income up. Unexpected expenses, inadequate savings, maybe instability around your living arrangements. But when you're debt-free, you don't necessarily have to sweat the small stuff anymore. And I really love what Brandon Turner says in regards to this concept. He says, if you have a problem that money can fix, and you have the money, then you don't have a problem. A recent example of this that he shared was that his backyard got flooded and it was completely ruined. It was actually really bad, but instead of letting this problem consume him and he would be worrying about it and stressing about it, he hired a team to fix his backyard, put it back basically to what it was before, and he wrote a check, and he doesn't have to be consumed with this problem. And this was a great, really important mindset shift for me, because prior to being debt-free, this would be an all-consuming problem. I mean, you've got to weigh, do we just kind of DIY a solution here? Do we hire out a team? We're going to have to get multiple bids, which will take several weeks and a lot of time. Should we just postpone this? Should we just put it on a back burner and deal with it later? I mean, it would be a very consuming problem. Risks look different when you are debt-free. And here's some of our biggest risks right now to kind of give you an idea. And number one would be taxes and not following the correct tax strategy, and more on that here in a little bit. Risk number 2 is Ethan's full-time job. And this sounds kind of crazy, but there will come a time where him not being in control of his income and his time spent at work will be riskier than going out on his own. And we've already seen some of that with the decisions that his employer has made over the last couple years. Number 3 is our health. For a long time, the big question was, how can we make sure to stay within the grocery budget? And now we're less concerned with staying within the grocery budget and actually utilizing our money to maximize our health. Instead of looking at the price, we're now looking at the ingredients. Now, it's way riskier for us to not be 100% aware what we are putting in and on our body, and then also what products we're using within our house. That has more weight to it than the price tag that comes along with those things. And number 4 is legal risks. In 2021, I hired a business attorney to basically go through my business and redo all of my contracts, all of my terms and conditions, everything so that my business was legally legit and up to date. When we're setting up our real estate LLC, everything needs to be strictly anonymous. There's just a lot of stuff that goes along with owning assets. When you own assets that make you money, you just carry more legal risk. My hope is that these concrete examples really help you see how your mindset has to make huge shifts when you become debt-free when it comes to what are risks and what are problems. It's really not more money, more problems, but more money, different problems. And if you're not careful to make that intentional mindset shift that you have to make, you could be worrying and stressing about inflated meat prices and gas prices when really you should turn your attention to your tax situation. So, speaking of taxes, that is number 3 here, and I would say that tax planning is everything when you are debt-free, especially mortgage debt-free. Tax planning is very important when you are becoming debt-free, but it is everything when you are debt-free. And here's what Dave Ramsey will not tell you. This is not on brand for him, so you will never hear him say this truth. But the truth is, you do not pay taxes on debt. And this is why correctly leveraging your money is key when it comes to taxes. And you're probably thinking right now, Jess, wait. I just got out of debt. You're saying I need debt in order to avoid taxes, and that's crazy. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can leverage your money to buy assets that will pay for your expenses in order to avoid taxes. And the craziest thing about all of that is that the government actually wants you to take risks. They want you to buy assets. They want you to invest in real estate, to start businesses. They incentivize you to do that by letting you avoid certain taxes. That's a whole other video. And again, we're not talking about liabilities here. We're not buying liabilities. We're buying assets that will pay for our expenses that we have every single day. And it's a shame that Dave has made debt such a bad word. Everyone that knows him and that follows him is so afraid of debt. And it's a shame because there's such a big difference between buying liabilities and buying assets. Yes, buying liabilities with debt is dumb, but buying assets that pay for your expenses with debt is amazing. I'm telling you all this and I'm making such a big deal about it because I wish so bad someone would have come and told Ethan and I about this. Then we wouldn't have been so badly burned by our tax bill over the last couple years. And for so long, we were laser focused on increasing our income and paying off the house. And when we finally came up for air, we realized, shoot, no one told us this was really going to bite us in the butt when it came to taxes. And this isn't something you can just like Google and kind of like piecemeal your way out. You need a full consultation and a tailored approach for your specific situation. And I'm telling you this so that hopefully you can avoid this big mistake that we made. Everything that I've learned about taxes has been from Mark Kohler, right here on YouTube, attorney and CPA, plus he has an entire team of people that work for him so that he can help as many people as possible. And putting my money where my mouth is, we are on his wait list for the 2022 tax season so that we can have a session with one of his tax professionals. And I've tried working with local CPAs, I've tried working with accountants that were referred to us, and what I kept finding over and over again is that they just don't understand what our goals are. They just don't understand what we're trying to do. Mark gets it, and that's what his whole YouTube channel is all about. And that's what makes me so excited for this shift for us, because honestly, finding an accountant, finding a CPA that understands what you're trying to do is half the battle, because you're doing something that not a lot of other people are doing. Not a lot of other people are trying to retire in their 30s like Ethan and I are. Number 4 is trying new things and finding new passions. When we were paying off debt, we didn't spend a whole lot of money on trying new things. And that's because we didn't want it to be a bad experience or end up being kind of a waste of money when we could have put that money toward the debt, which we were so, again, laser focused on doing at the time. We were really intentional about keeping our budget as fixed as possible while we were paying off the house to maximize our monthly payment. And that definitely paid off. I don't regret that at all, but it did mean that we weren't risking our money on trying new things or going to new experiences, because like I said, it might be a bad experience and we might regret spending the money in that way when we could have put the money toward the house. Now it's really fun to experiment and try new things and not really worry so much about the cost. If it's a negative experience, if it's something that we wouldn't necessarily do again, it's still an experience and we're just not as concerned with the cost component. Being debt-free has really allowed me to reignite my curiosity and try new things that I'm interested in, because I'm learning and I'm growing and not just the rigid, what fits in the budget. I would say that the biggest example for this right now for us has been food. Buying different ingredients, buying different things, cooking up and trying new recipes and things in the kitchen. And it doesn't matter if it's good or cost effective or if it totally flops and we have to order pizza or whatever, the cost just isn't really that important. And in the future, we've got plans for traveling and trying new things on a larger scale. Of course, we love the outdoors, so we're definitely going to be incorporating that as well into our pursuit of new passions and trying new things. Hopefully that one's not too woo-woo for you guys, but it really is an important component of being debt-free, is trying new things and not worrying so much about the cost part of it. I hope you guys got something out of this video. I really want to know which one resonated with you in the comment section below. I always do my best to read and respond to all comments. Don't forget to like this video if you got value here today and subscribe to my channel for future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.